Fall 2023 is about to arrive with 60 new fucking animes, but the series I'm looking forward to is Undead Unluck. With not one, but two unstable main protagonists, a power system that feels wrong to say, and a world that's fueled by the rule of cool. This series has a power system that fits so much into the world that the power system is building the world. I know that's a little confusing, so let me explain that in this video. But before that, let me give you a brief background on the story of Undead Unluck, a story that started as a one-shot written by Tosuka Yoshifumi. A name that's not familiar to me, but good job Tosuka Yoshifumi, you made a great manga that's being adapted by David Production that gave us JoJo, Fire Force, and Cells at Work. You know, the weird but amazing anime, where Undead Unluck is gonna fit in. Because this is a weird story. Like the main character Fuuko is an 18-year-old loner because anyone who touches her will be struck by unluckiness. Which doesn't sound bad on paper, but the longer you touch her, the worse the outcome. And that is proven by our other main protagonist, Andy, a generic immortal that wants to die at first. But that change in the way he fights kinda reminds me of One Piece before Haki. Luffy fighting Baggy, NL, Crocodile without Haki. It's creative and imaginative of a power that's pretty common, and I appreciate that. But I'm not here to explain each person's power, I'm here to explain how the power works. So, Undead Unluck has a world that has interconnecting concepts like artifacts, umas, and rules that you need to understand first before I explain the power system. So let's start with artifacts. That's not really that important, but it's more or less magical items like magical staff and fortload. Artifacts are mysterious but powerful objects that grants different strengths depending on the item. And the first artifact ever found on Earth is the Book of Revelation. This book about quests that works the same in games: mission, difficulty, reward. But if you can't finish the quest on time, then there's gonna be a punishment, usually addition of umas, unidentified mysterious animals, otherworldly creatures that embody a specific rule. They're the main catalyst of the rules. For example, spoilage did not exist before the Uma spoil was added into the world. The same goes for the 4 season, clothes, eating, and that subscribe button. Hit that by the way. Umas has 2 types. It can be a phenomenal type like moving, thirst, kindness, and spoilage. And the other one is concept type, which is like the galaxy, atmosphere, magma, and a lot more. Each time an Uma is added, all the people that are not negators will always know the added Uma. The Uma galaxy being added will be common knowledge to non-negators, even though yesterday is just the moon, the sun, and the earth. But to them, it's already there their whole life, and it's been there for billions of years. Isn't that an exciting concept when you think about it? They're building the world as we go through the story. And I love how they look into the perspective of how normal things might be bad. I never thought that having a galaxy could be a bad thing, like having a galaxy means you have aliens that want to conquer Earth and even a giant incest space baby. The reason why I needed to explain umas and rules is that each negators negate one rule. And each time a negator dies, the power to bend the rule will be passed to someone random, and that will be dormant until they reach the age of 10. To be more clear, these rules I'm talking about are the rules of the world. Food will spoil. One day you will grow old and all anime watchers will turn into manga readers. But every rule has an exception, and these are negators. Negation is hard to explain, but let me try. Let me use Andy as an example. He negates death, means he's immortal. That's it. Or if someone uses the negation of moving, then you stop moving and you'll be unable to move. However, there are conditions that needed to be done to use negation. And we can see it more clearly in external targeting types, with the power affecting anyone other than themselves. For example, the unchanged negation that prevents the state of any object being changed, which is the main use is to create barriers of varying shapes, an indestructible barrier of unchanging air. Indestructible. Imagine being so powerful that no one can touch you. You can never lose. You can never die. That did not age well. Okay, let's just move on to the other type of negation, which is self-targeting, the type of power that can only be used on themselves. Like Andy is the only one who won't die unless the Uma of Death is exterminated. I think the power system is pretty straightforward, but negation can be powerful or weak depending on the person who has it. It's how these people use their abilities. Like Andy can fly by regenerating so fast that the force of his legs regenerating propels him, or regenerating his fingers so fast that it turns into bullets. And it's not just him. A lot of the characters use very imaginative ways to use their negation. It's not just, I can punch really hard. No! Negation is used in very creative ways, like suicide bombing. Okay, let me explain that. Fuuko is unlocked. Touching her bare skin might cause a small fender bender or a calamity. Andy cannot die, so he touches her long enough, then he runs towards the enemy, and then the big explosion happens. Where did he touch her? Well, let's just say Twitter is not gonna be happy. Remember, great power comes with great responsibility, and Undead Unluck means great power comes with greater trauma, because why not? No one wanted to be a negator, because having negation means there's going to be restrictions, like Fuuko, someone who never felt a human touch since she was 10, and Andy, an immortal. I think everyone knows how immortality is not a good superpower. I want to talk about this a lot more, but it's not out yet, and I don't want to take out all the experience. I recommend this, so please watch it, and I think that's all for today. Hit that subscribe button and tell me in the comments if I got anything wrong or if you got a question. Thank you if you got it this far. Peace out.